Hello everyone, it's Brandy here with another beginner series video. So whether you're a beginner stamper or maybe you're an avid stamper, one thing we all need is ideas and inspiration. Sometimes you just need that little spark that gets you going and gets your ideas rolling and gets that mojo going. So today we're going to talk about where to find inspiration. And if I don't mention an idea that you have or how you get inspired, please be sure to leave it in the comments. I think we can help each other by sharing some ideas on where you find inspiration as you start your crafting and you start making your cards. So I'm excited. I've got about 10 different places to share with you on where you can find ideas and inspiration. So when you come into your crafting space, you can grab a stamp set and you could get crafting. That's right. Sometimes that's the hardest part. It's just kind of like, okay, where do I start? So that's what we're going to talk about today is ideas and inspiration and where you can easily find it. All right, so before we get started, I'm so grateful that you're here, and if you find today's video helpful, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that, and of course, you're going to get notified of my next video series that will be coming soon. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I pulled one of my favorites. This is a stamp set that I designed back in 2016. It's called Hold On to Hope. It's retired. It's no longer available. But I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to show you where to find some ideas and inspiration. Now, some of you may have this stamp set, and if you do, I hope that you enjoy it. And you might be like, okay, I need some help getting my mojo started. So I'm going to go down my list here. I have made a list. I've got some ideas. So I have my laptop. So let's dive in and get started. So one of the first things that I do when I have a stamp set and I'm like, okay, I'm at a loss. Well, I come over to my computer and I start right on Google. That's right, I start right on Google. So this is Chrome, and all I'm going to do is type in here, hold on to, actually, let me take that back. I'm going to type in Stampin' Up, hold on to Hope stamp set. And I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to click right here on images. And when I do that, look at all of these beautiful cards that come up. Oh my goodness. So that is one of the places that I always start is on Google. Now I can see this one is a card that I designed, and this one here as well. And so, a lot of times when you click on that, well, it'll allow you to, it'll say, okay, this is a card written by, or tutorial by Brandy Cox. And then if you click on that, that will take you hopefully to my blog post with written instructions. And so there's another one of the cards, and I've got a tutorial in there and so forth. All right, so the first thing that I do is I Google it. That's right. And so by Googling it, I can see all of these wonderful ideas and inspiration. Now, one of the other things that you can do is you can visit Splitcoaststampers.com. Now, I love this place for just for ideas. I love it. I love it so much. And I have a gallery there too, and I try to keep up on that gallery. So I will have in the description and in my post, I will have the name of this website for you. But you can create a free gallery or you can, a free account, and oh my goodness, wait till you see the wealth of wonderful creations that are there. So let's go back to our computer, and I am going to type in here Split, S-P-L-I-T, Coast, Stampers.com. All right, so once I'm there, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Gallery, and right now I'm not even logged in. That's right, so I'm not even actually logged in right now. So I'm going to go to Gallery. I'm going to scroll down until I find Stampin' Up. I'm going to click on Stampin' Up, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to look for the Hold On to Hope stamp set. So you can see that it's all alphabetical. H-I-J. So mine is going to be right in here. So it says stamp sets between G and J. So I'm going to click on that. And now any stamp set that Stampin' Up! Has made should be loaded in here. Oh my gosh, look at that. So many wonderful stamp sets. But I'm going to take us down, so if this makes you dizzy, don't look. Don't look. All right, so we're going down to Hold On to Hope. So we're in the HA. So I've got to go all the way down here. Oh yeah. So we got to go up a little bit. So once you find the stamp set that you're looking for, and we are looking for the Hold On to Hope stamp set. And let's see. Oh, there it is right there. So it looks like there are quite a few over here. I believe there's 556 pictures, I believe, that have been uploaded. So you can see it goes on several pages, and there's a whole bunch of cards here. Lots of beautiful designs, and you can just click through the pages. You can tell the computer, okay, I want to see 96, 96 cards all at once. How many ever that you would like. And so then you can just scroll through here. Sometimes the designer will post a link to where they found the inspiration or to a tutorial as well. So just lots of fun in here. Now, while I'm in here, you can also click on tutorials when you're in Split Coast. And oh my goodness, look at all these wonderful tutorials. That's right, there's 103 pages of tutorials. Like, oh my goodness, lots of ideas, lots of inspiration. So definitely use Split Coast Stampers to your benefit. They are fantastic and a wonderful resource for all of that inspiration. Okay, so we talked about Googling it, and we've talked about Split Coast Stampers, right? So the other thing that you can do here is you can go to your computer and go to BrandysCards.com. That's right. So when you're on BrandysCards.com, in the top right-hand corner, you're going to see a magnifying glass. If you click on that magnifying glass, it opens up a little box where you can type in there, Hold On to Hope. Enter. And what should happen is any post that I have created using this stamp set should pop up. And so the computer's thinking about it for a second. So here you can see some of the cards that I have created using the Hold On to Hope stamp set. And if you click on this post, then you're going to be able to see the video and the card, right? So that is the Hold On to Hope stamp. That's how to find that stamp set. Now at convention of 2017, I actually got to share my inspiration here. So you can see that this was my inspiration, the Hold On to Hope stamp set. It was actually designed and inspired by my friends who live next door. The Pounding for Parker Foundation, their young son went through 17 months at chemo at 7 years old. And so we just love Parker so much, and I just loved the stamp set and that it brought hope and joy and renewal. So we're just really excited about this stamp set, and at convention I had the opportunity to share it on stage with other demonstrators. Okay, so moving on from that, we've talked about Google, Split Coast Stampers, and now we've talked about searching on BrandysCards.com. Now, if nothing comes up and you search, well, that means I've probably not used that stamp set yet, and I probably haven't posted on it. So if nothing comes up in the search, that's probably why, but it should. So if you're watching one of my prior videos and you're like, okay, I can't find the tutorial I'm looking for, you just want to take the name of the stamp set and go to that search area and type it in there, and it should come up. All right, so let's go back to our computer. Of course, you can also go to Pinterest, right? And on Pinterest, you can type in there, Stampin' Up, Hold On to Hope. And when you do that, look at that. So there's one of my tutorials there, and you can see they come right up here. That's also one of my tutorials. And so just really fun. And then of course, when you click on it, You know, you can get more information, potentially download a tutorial, and so forth. So again, Pinterest is also your friend and a wonderful place to search ideas and get inspiration and all of that good stuff. All right, so the next thing, what about YouTube? So you have YouTube as well. So you can go into YouTube and type in Stampin' Up, Hold On to Hope. I haven't actually done this, so it'll be interesting to see what comes up. All right, so there you go. There are some different tutorials that have come up of demonstrators and folks that have, you know, shared their cards here online. So that is another way that you can search. Now, of course, you can also search Instagram. I don't have Instagram on this computer, but that is another way. So I have already given you lots of different ways to find some ideas and inspiration when you have a particular stamp set that you want to use. You can just dive right in and get started there. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Stampin' Up catalog. Let's move into some other ideas, right? So this book, and of course all of your little minis and the celebration catalog, they all have different ideas and samples in there, and they are just wonderful. They're just like a wealth of inspiration in these books. So I went ahead and just pulled a couple others. I save all of my old catalogs, and I hope that you do too. Again, I just like flip through them and go, oh gosh, I love that design, and I recreate that design. So we call that casing. Copy and share everything, and it is okay to case. Absolutely. And it's okay to case a card, and if you decide if you're a demonstrator and you want to repost it, as long as you recreate it and take your own pictures, well, you're welcome to do that. If you're a customer, please feel free to case that card or, you know, recreate that card and send it to your loved one, family, and friends. We just want to inspire you, and we love creating and sharing. And so that's what casing is all about. So let me show you this. Here inside the Stampin' Up catalog. Now, before I do that, if you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, please let me know. I'd love the opportunity to help you. I'd love to earn your business. So please reach out to me. Go to BrandysCards.com/contact. And there you can, you know, send me an email with your information, and don't forget to put your address in there. It's just a little tidbit that helps me make sure that I can get that catalog to you. So make sure you put your address in there and send me an email. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you, you know, need some suggestions on getting started on your stamping journey and creating cards. I'd be glad to help you with that. Now, if you're one of my current customers, you should already have this wonderful annual catalog, and you should have the new holiday mini. Now, this mini runs July 1st through December of 2022, and it is arriving in mailbox as we speak. And so it is beautiful. Because it's not July 1st, I can't actually open it for you, but there's plenty of time for that to come. So let's look at this annual catalog here. Now, the annual catalog, as I talked about earlier, look at all of these beautiful pictures, lots of inspiration here. So you can take the stamp set and the products that they used, and you can recreate these cards. There's everything from beginner to some avid, you know, stepped up, and some avid cards in here as well. One thing I love is that you can kind of, Stampin' Up does call out if there was a specific technique that was used, or they give you ideas. Use foam adhesive strips to make a shaker element, and I believe that's what they did here. So there's lots of tips. If you look kind of in the, you know, in the section here on the sides, they like to kind of give you some tips on, you know, the different, you know, if they used a different technique or that sort of thing. Now, we're going to turn to page, let's see, page 87. So here on page 87, many of you know I've been working on my Masculine Monday series. So if you haven't seen those cards, you need to make sure and go back and have a look at my playlist. You can actually look at them on YouTube, in the Brandy's Cards YouTube channel, or you can see them on my blog at brandyscards.com. and you would just click on, the Masculine Monday series, and there are lots of super fun cards. But one set of cards that I designed using the Wild and Sweet stamp set, I actually cased, and recreated my own card from the Stampin' Up catalog. So here, let's turn to page 87. And here on page 87 is this fantastic stamp set. And oh, I love this one too, a lot. And this one's called Bamboo Beauty. So what I did is I decided, okay, well, check out this card right here. I loved the bamboo behind him, and I liked him, and I liked him cut with a deckled rectangle. So I liked all of that, but I wanted to change it up a little bit, and I wanted to make it more of my own. So here's the card that I created using the same idea. I added my bamboo in the background. Instead of the vellum, I tied my little my string here. I didn't really want as big of a sentiment, so I went a little bit smaller, and I went on a white, basic white strip instead of the what looks maybe mint there. And then of course I designed my envelope that coordinated. So then I also looked here at the Bamboo Beauty, and I thought, okay, so I like that a lot, but I wanted to go more natural colors. So this was kind of my take from this card, all right? So you can kind of see, this is called casing. Copy and share everything. And a lot of times when you do these casing, it doesn't always like end up the way the card looks. A lot of times you get those ideas, and sometimes you just gotta get started, right? And you just gotta get started stamping, and then things start to come. Well, hopefully they start to come. There's sometimes I have a little bit of a mind block, and I have to walk away, leave it out, put it inside my stamp set case, and come back to it another day, and I feel fresh and ready to go. Now, before I move on from here, I do want to show you that the raccoon here, I decided to do it in black and white. I just used a different background. I changed the orientation of the card, but I still cased it from the catalog here. So that is another idea that I highly recommend, is casing your cards. Okay, now another neat thing, if you are involved in card swaps, so maybe you're involved in a card swap group, maybe you are in a group at church, or just some of your girlfriends get together and you make cards together. And I'm sure you send them to each other for their birthdays and that sort of thing. Well, if so, you want to hang on to those beautiful cards, because those are more idea and inspiration pieces, right? So here we go. Let me show you. So here are some cards that I was sent, and I saved them all. I love, love, love these cards. And so I go back and I look at these beautiful cards, and I just, my wheels start spinning, and I'm like, okay, yes, I can do that. Yes, I want to make that, or I want to put this other stamp set on here and switch it up. So again, saving the cards that you receive is just precious, just gold. And so I save all of the cards, and I do. When I say I save them all, I save them all. I love them. Now, after about a year or so, I do go through them, and I do cut the fronts off, and I glue them onto a white card base. And so then I donate them back to church ministries, or to the Ronald McDonald House, or to other card ministries out there. So I do eventually let them go, but not right away. I hang on to them for quite a while. So that's another way to get ideas and inspiration. And let's just say this card right here you have, and you love it, just get a ruler and measure it out. So you can measure out these layers, and you can kind of build it from there. But again, if that doesn't work for you, that's okay. We also have tutorials. At BrandysCards, I try to create a tutorial for you with sizes and dimensions. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I always talk about that idea and inspiration book or binder that you can put together. And for my customers who place orders with me, one of the things I like to do for my customers is send you a printed version of those tutorials. My hope is that you hole punch them and that you put them in a binder, and when you're needing some inspiration, you can go back, open that binder, and flip through it. So let's take a look here. So this is one of the books that I have put together, and I absolutely love this, having all of these tutorials in here. So we've been talking about Hold On to Hope, so I went ahead and found this tutorial in here. Now the nice thing is that you can actually take any of these layouts and change the stamp set, right? You don't have to do it exactly as I've done it. Change the stamp set, change the colors, just have fun with it. But it's just a neat place to start. Like, okay, I like this card, but maybe instead of that lattice, I'm gonna do a solid color, and maybe I'm gonna do a different image here. Just have fun with it. So I hope that you're taking those tutorials, hole punching them, and putting them in a binder so that you can go back and flip through and start to think about ways that you can get started creating. Now, I did pull out a couple of extra things that I wanted to share with you. Stampin' Up! Gives us this fantastic color chart. Now, I try to send these to my customers. And if you're not one of my current customers, that's okay. I will have this link for you. You can absolutely download these. That's not a problem. So here, let me come over under the camera and show you these. These are just wonderful color charts. And what I mean by that is Stampin' Up! Is suggesting Sweet Sorbet, Calypso Coral, and Balmy Blue. They're suggesting that those three colors would be beautiful when you are making a card. So when you're thinking about, okay, I have the Hold On to Hope stamp set, and you're looking at these colors, which colors would I like to use for that? And so I'm just kind of looking at some of those colors. So this is the In Color palette, and you can see Tahitian Tide. So they're showing you three different ideas that you could create with Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party. And then of course there's a set for Soft Succulent and so forth. And so these are just a really great resource for you that you can hole punch and put in your book. This kind of serves, we used to have something called a color wheel, and unfortunately we don't have that anymore. But instead we have these fantastic sheets, okay? So you can absolutely print these sheets, put them in your binder, and maybe it's color that inspires you. Maybe it's not looking at other cards, maybe it's just color. You know what stamp set you want to work with. What colors do I want to work with? So when I think about colors, one thing I like to do for my team, my Stampin' Up! Team Blooms and Butterflies, I like to give them a color challenge. Now, it's not, I don't want to challenge them in a hard way, but I want to pull people out of their comfort zone a little bit and try creating with colors they haven't used before. I mean, that's how we all grow in design and colors and that sort of thing, by maybe having a little bit of a challenge and something to focus on. So when you look at specific colors, maybe some specific stamp set will come to mind. So I'm going to grab the color challenge over here. So my color challenge for May for my team, let me bring this under here, was Pale Papaya, Calypso Coral, Basic Gray. So those were the three colors for the color challenge. So here is the card that I designed from that color challenge. Yeah, so the idea in a color challenge is I can only use these colors, plus white or vanilla. I can use basic black if I need to stamp, not in the challenge, but to stamp the images. And so whether I use markers, ink, or cardstock, I just have to represent all three colors in my card. So here's the fun card that I designed using those three colors. So there's your Pale Papaya, there's your Calypso Coral, your Basic Gray, and so forth. So just really fun, and when I had these colors, I could flip through my catalog and then determine exactly which stamp set I wanted to use. Now, it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it's like, okay, these colors are not working with the stamp set, and you have to kind of, rethink it. But that's okay. That's what it's all about. Now, one other thing that sometimes I do when I'm looking for color inspiration is I go into my recycle bin and I get magazines all the time. I get clothing magazines from various companies, and so I will go and I will grab those magazines and I'll just start thumbing through. And I'll look for colors and I'll start thinking, oh, that's balmy blue, and oh, that's night of navy. And you start thinking about all these fabulous colors. And so it's kind of like a color challenge, isn't it? So here, I pulled a couple of magazines, and this is one of the dresses that stood out to me. So this would be, I would say, night of navy, and I would say balmy blue, maybe even pool party, and basic white. So you could make a card, and you could even look up some of our stamps with these beautiful flowers, and maybe you come up with a design that's very similar to that. So really, really cool, and magazines are a fabulous way to get ideas from. So check out this dress. So this dress is another gorgeous dress, and gosh, it looks like it might have, you know, a calypso coral in there, a pale papaya, maybe even a daffodil or crushed curry. You know, you've got a blue in there, so you know that blue is probably, what would we call that blue? Maybe a Pacific Point. It might not be quite as bright, but again, it's a way to see, oh wow, those colors all work really good together. You might not have thought about that before. So that's why I like magazines, to kind of get my ideas going. And of course, if you like that color palette and you're gonna recycle the magazine anyway, maybe you rip the page out and you put it in your binder. Just saying. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this, and I have one more thing to show you. Sometimes you're walking through your closet and you look and you're like, oh my gosh, that shirt is like the magazine. So I have a dress, a sundress that I'm excited to wear to see my family next week, and I'm gonna bring it over here and show you the colors. So it's beautiful, and I was looking at all these colors thinking, oh my goodness, I could totally make a card with these colors. And honestly, I hadn't thought about putting the Highland Heather in there. So there's Highland Heather. I see Calypso Coral. Actually, it looks like there's a crushed curry in there, but I didn't grab that one. Poppy Parade could be this red, or maybe the Sweet Sorbet. Definitely an Old Olive or Pear Pizzazz. And then of course, a Night of Navy. That's going to be that kind of darker blue. So as you can see, there is inspiration all around you. And you just have to keep your eye open and look for it. Just look around. You can find it on towels. You can find it on shower curtains. You can find it on curtains and in pictures. You know, ideas are all around us, and ways to be inspired. So I hope that I've helped you today. Maybe take a step back and look at the world around you and all of its beauty as you're starting to think about creating your own cards with what you have at home. Ideas are everywhere, and I promise you that you can find them. Sometimes you just have to be a little creative, whether you're looking at you know, Google, or you're looking at YouTube, or maybe it's Pinterest or Instagram or BrandysCards.com and you're searching. Maybe it's your binder, maybe it's a magazine, maybe it's a color challenge that you've seen out there, or an outfit that you might have. Or don't forget that Stampin' Up! Catalog, or the card that your best friend just sent you that you thought was absolutely lovely and want to recreate. And I'm telling you, if you recreate that card and send her a picture, it is the most flattering thing that you can do. She will be so excited to know that she inspired you by her creation, and that you wanted to create it too. So I hope that you have found this helpful. If you have and resourceful, please give me a thumbs up. Yeah, please click the like button if you haven't done so already. Give me a thumbs up. That would be super. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from. If it's your first time here joining me for the beginner series, I'd love to know that too. If there's a place that you can think of that you get inspiration that you haven't shared yet, let me know that too. We'd love to hear any comments that you have. Of course, there are Facebook groups online, and now I'm thinking if you're a demonstrator, in our demonstrator, our Stampin' Up family, we have different places as a demonstrator where we get inspiration as well. Oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless. We could be crafting for days and months and hours on end. If only I could do that. All right, so thank you for joining me today. And again, if you don't have a demonstrator, you're interested in some catalogs, please let me know. Email me at brandyscards.com/contact. I'd love the opportunity to help you and earn your business. If you're one of my current customers, thank you. I really and truly appreciate you so much. And I hope that you're enjoying the new annual catalog. And I hope that that holiday catalog has started to spark some interest for those holiday projects. Thanks again, everybody. Take care. Bye now.